Today we're going to talk about spring clean your skincare routine. So we're going to talk about root causes of acne. We're going to talk about your perfect routine for spring. And I know that sounds very like fashion. It's like your perfect outfit for spring. But really with skincare, you do have to dial things up and dial things down depending on the seasons. And even understanding like our bodies as women, they're going through so many hormonal cycles in 30 days. And when the climate is changing outside, that does have an effect on our skin too. So you're not crazy if you feel like, hey, the season's changing, my skin is acting up, or something's being funky. So we're going to talk through all of that because it is true. And it doesn't mean that you need a brand new skincare routine every season. That's not it. It's just things in your skincare routine already that you dial up or dial down. So don't feel like you have to like buy different skincare every single season. There's just a few tweaks that are really helpful for you to know about your skin, especially if you struggle with any problematic skin, whether it's acne prone or prone to like rosacea, psoriasis, if you identify with sensitive skin. So we're going to chat through those. And then at the end, we're going to do a giveaway. We're going to win Sam's favorite. So, Shay, can you remind people how we pick the winners?
Yes. So at the end, I will ask for everybody to send their Instagram handle, and then I will randomly pick someone and I'll announce it.
Okay, perfect. Well, I'll give some introductions and then I'll pass the mic to Sam and then we'll jump into it. Keep it quick housekeeping as well. The chats always pop off during these master classes, so feel free to ask questions. If it's specific to what we're talking about in the presentation, we'll answer. If not, hold your question to the end where we have Q&A, because then we'll actually be able to go through them one at a time. It's just helpful so we're not scrolling because we do scroll back to find everyone's, but it's really helpful if it's fresh in the chat. So just keeping that in mind. So, quick little background for those that are new to the brand. We started ClearStem 8 years ago, and it really came from a place of need. I was aggressively struggling with acne. I'll show you my before and afters in a few. But fast forward 8 years later, we've built an entire brand and skincare company that is for breakouts and aging at the same time. Because so many women, we do have men that use skincare too, just majority women. But a majority of women, they need support with both in your 20s, 30s, 40s, perimenopause, menopause, pregnancy, post-pregnancy, hormonal changes in your 20s, 30s, all of the above. Our skin goes through it. And in your, 20s and above, you don't necessarily want to be using a teenager line for your acne. You don't necessarily want to be using a line that's just relying on drying out the oil of your skin. That is how teenager acne is typically treated. It's a lot more drying agents to dry up that oil. But when you're 20 and above, your root cause of acne is very different. It's not always just oil related. It's a multitude of different things. And so at ClearStem, we're actually working on clearing your acne from the root cause and formulating skincare that supports breakouts and also aging at the same time. So we use amazing ingredients like plant-based stem cells and topical peptides and more healing and regenerative herbs for your skin. And so you ladies deserve both. You should not have to choose between drying skincare that's more geared towards acne, that's going to aggressively dry and age your skin. And you shouldn't have to choose with anti-aging skincare that can be filled with a lot of pore cloggers and leading to more breakouts. So we combined in the two. And of course, our entire line is free of all pore clogging ingredients. Okay, this is Danielle and I. We started the brand 8 years ago. We actually met 10 years ago. We met because I was really aggressively struggling with acne and I had tried for well over a year to figure it out. I'll actually just have Shay, you can, as I share our story, I'll just have you jump to the next page so you can see. This is my before and after. So the left picture is when I met Danielle. My skin had looked like this for over a year. It's actually so funny. Danielle and I were just together the other week and she had found so many more because this was like the only before picture I could find for the longest time because I don't know other acne girlies out there, you delete so many pictures from your phone when you're struggling with acne. So it's genuinely so hard for me to find a lot of pictures for during that period of my life because I didn't want to take pictures and I deleted them. But Danielle had found all these pictures she had from when I was coming into her clinic in San Diego. And almost started to tear up seeing some of these before and after pictures or these before pictures that I hadn't seen in 10 years. It was like really crazy. And so I tried to solve my acne for well over a year myself. I'm an integrative health practitioner, I'm a nutritionist, but I had a full-time job at the time and I was just doing nutrition and health coaching on the side and just really trying to figure it out myself. I went to every doctor, dermatologist, esthetician I could possibly find and just kept getting the same answers over and over again. Go on Accutane, go on spironolactone, go back on birth control, go on antibiotics. And it's not that I was against any of these things. I am just a person that is obsessed with the why. And I'm obsessed with like, let's actually solve this. Let's actually solve the root of this. And so I just kept asking those questions. I was like, okay, but why would I go on these? Like, how is it like, what's actually wrong with my body? How is this medication going to help? And I couldn't get any real answers as to what was causing this acne. So I was like, why would I take this random medication if you can't even tell me if this medication is going to help the root cause of my acne? To me, I was like, that's so confusing. That makes no sense to me. And so I decided to not go on any of the medications. I tried to solve it myself, put myself through so many different dietary protocols, elimination diet, SIBO, Candida, like all those different protocols myself. I knew nothing about skincare at the time. This is 10 plus years ago, knew nothing. Didn't know how to properly exfoliate, didn't know what pore cloggers were, didn't know what order you should use things in, like no idea. And so I was trial and error everything. I tried the cleanest of clean skincare to really harsh stuff and everything in between. One last Google search, I found Danielle. She owns San Diego Acne Clinic in San Diego. And that middle picture of my after is 2 months later after I worked with her. And her entire methodology is rooted around eliminating the root causes of acne. And it's all the information we have put into ClearStem. And we can talk about some of it, but it's like certain supplements in excess cause hormonal fluctuations that can cause hormonal acne. There's certain foods that trigger it, like dairy, whey, eggs can be a really big one. And again, it's not giving up these foods forever. It's during the period of time of healing your acne and clearing your skin, eliminating these things, right? Pore clogging ingredients was a huge one. I was using so much skincare and makeup and hair care with pore cloggers in it. I didn't understand the benefits or values of that whatsoever. So we set off to create a skincare line. We only had one product for the first 2.5 years. If anyone has used it, it's our Renew serum. It's to support scar damage. And we only had that for 2.5 years. So for the first almost 3 years of ClearStem, all we were doing was educating nonstop. We were getting on one-on-one calls with people. We were kind of like fractionally like using other brands of like, okay, we only have this one product, but found this one face wash from this brand that has no pore cloggers in this one. So we're just like making it work so people had solutions, even if we were like pointing them in different directions away from our brand. But what Danielle and I are so passionate about is helping people get to the root cause of their acne and providing the root cause of acne checklist and really guiding people through that. And so it's really been 8 years of building ClearStem one product at a time, one evolution at a time. And here we are, 20 products later. We have both topical skincare and supplements internally that support deficiencies and key areas as it relates to acne in the body. And so we created a brand out of this. We have our Clear Pore Promise, which is always fun to have the branding things right. Our Clear Pore Promise is our promise to you that all of our formulations are free of pore clogging ingredients. And so you can play around with different products, like what, especially once you get clear too, we have a great clear routine in Mind Body Skin. It's a great system to get clear. Once you get clear, you want to play around more. Like, oh, I want brightening. I want this, I want that. And we want people to have the full freedom on our website and with our products to be full play and no fear of breaking out. And so that's where ClearStem was born. And without further ado, introducing Sam.
Thank you, Kayleigh. Hi, guys. It's so fun to see all of you guys on here because I recognize so many names in here that I've talked with y'all on Instagram. So I'm so excited to host this with Kayleigh and the ClearStem team. I mean, me personally, ClearStem has like changed my life. It's really interesting with me. Well, I'll give a little bit of background if anybody doesn't know me. I'm a creator. I am a personal trainer. I'm a nutritionist, and I really do believe healing from the inside out. Being a nutritionist, I actually went to more of a holistic school for nutrition, and there's so many tools out there, but I'm such a believer that like the things that we might experience, whether it's weight gain, or maybe we're losing weight too quickly, or maybe we're experiencing acne or skin issues, eczema, the list goes on. So much of that starts from the inside and specifically the gut. And so for me, I never battled acne ever. Like growing up, I never had any kind of blemishes or zits or full-on acne. Mine came later in life. So in my early 30s, especially after kids, and that's common, I think, too. Kayleigh, you can probably agree with this, but like after kids with hormonal changes, um, and even outside of kids, any kind of like hormonal changes that you might go through, whether it's kids, pregnancy, it could be menopause. A lot of skin issues can come up depending on what your hormones look like. And for me, I started getting acne after kids, and this was completely new to me. Luckily, I had a good foundation when it came to nutrition. So I'm very big on eating whole foods, right? Like, and we can talk more about what that looks like, but still was dealing with hormonal breakouts around certain times of the month. And I started using ClearStem last year. I actually had a girlfriend introduce it to me, and I was like, okay, I'll give it a try. I got the bounce back serum and I got the Hydro Glow moisturizer, and I immediately was like, oh my goodness, like absolutely insane. I started using it for like 2 weeks and noticed such a big difference. And then before I know it, I was like ordering everything from them. And then I had the opportunity to work with them, and I got to interview Kayleigh and Danielle on my podcast. And if y'all have not listened to that episode, I'll actually see before the class is over. I will put the link to that so they can hear more of y'all's story, and just we talk all things skincare,
So good. We
and
dive so deep in that
it's
episode. It's
it's
good.
so good. It's
Get your
so good.
notebooks
So
out for that one.
yes, yeah, I mean it's a good one. But we talked about everything, and I was able to learn more about their story, which is really cool. But such a believer in all of the products they have. And for me too, I would like to say like I'm 90% of the time, and if you guys follow me, I'm like 90% balance, right? Like 90% of the time I try to make it as clean as possible. And with my skincare and the things I put on my skin, like I really do try to have products that are clean but also good quality that actually are efficient, because I feel like some products out there that might say they're clean, they don't always work great. Like you don't see that efficacy there. And I love the fact that ClearStem combines both. So I feel like for me, utilizing ClearStem, but also some wellness trends that I totally believe in that we can talk more about, and then pairing that with nutrition. Um, my skin has never been in a better spot. And of course, like I'm not perfect. I still deal with some breakouts, but it's like I kind of know ahead of time what to use specifically from ClearStem. There's a couple we can talk about to help mitigate that and make it a lot less than it normally would be. So,
Amazing. Shay, you want to jump to the next slide? Okay, awesome. So we're going to dive into root cause of acne. Like Sam mentioned, we dive even deeper on her podcast episode as well. And so, one, we'll have this masterclass for you guys to listen to. But if you want to go even deeper in these areas, we do go even deeper on her podcast episode too. So that can be very, very helpful. When we look at the framework of acne from the ClearStem perspective, we've identified many different root causes, but they're all kind of linking back to the same thing. We wanted to make it as easy as possible for people to treat it as a bit of a checklist. That way you get to audit your own lifestyle, diet, products, etc., and not feeling so overwhelmed. Because 99% of what we found that are causing breakouts is under the umbrella of essentially this. I'd say that additional 1% of really, really pesky acne, we found it really helpful to work with a practitioner getting blood work done, because those nuances that we've seen are like heavy metal toxicity, mold toxicity, etc. So we've seen really aggressive acne in people who are heavily, heavily living in mold and not detoxing. Again, this is like the 1% of nuances, but I just think it's really important for you guys to have in the back of your head. So these are the most common ones here that when people follow this checklist, like 99% of people are getting clear from going through all of this. So dietary, it's Che. Can you remember what slide is next? Because I can't remember if it dives deeper into these or if I'm going off of this slide. Can I just see real
Yeah.
quick?
Yeah, it just goes into how to build a routine talking
Okay,
about.
perfect. So we'll stay on
Yeah.
this. Okay, perfect. So we'll stay on this slide. Great. So dietary triggers. We also have a root cause of acne checklist. And before we get off this call, I can drop you guys the link to that because it has it in a bit of a check format where it's like, what are the dietary triggers, etc. So under dietary triggers, the most common ones for people, dairy, eggs, gluten. Those are the leading ones. Gluten affects everyone differently, so it's a nuanced one. Some people, sinus issues, joint pain, bloating, but for a section of people, this does link to acne. The biggest ones, eggs and dairy. And again, by no means do you have to give these up forever. I promise you guys, I have integrated both of these back into my diet. I just don't necessarily have them every single day, but I've integrated them back in and I don't break out. So you can integrate them back in. I always recommend when you are eliminating these things, commit to 90 days. It takes time for some of these things to get out of your system, to move through, for other mechanics in your body to really start coming together. Give yourself 90 days. Dairy is a big one, and I would look out for if you're like, oh, I don't have milk or I rarely have cheese. Whey protein is a big aggressor, especially of back acne. I actually treated myself as a guinea pig the other month, and I was like, let me try getting like a super, super clean whey and see how I react to it. Oddly, no breakouts on my face, both upper back on shoulders. I had like 5 or 6 breakouts on each side from doing whey protein every single day. And I was like, oh, good to know. Love to treat myself as a guinea pig. So whey is a really aggressor of back acne. Eggs is a big one. Few things, the biotin levels, the hormone levels of it, but most importantly, eggs have something in it called albumin protein. It's found in the egg whites specifically, and it can be very inflammatory if your body is already inflamed. So if you're currently struggling with acne, your body is already inflamed. And so adding eggs whites on top of that is going to keep the inflammation really high and it's going to clog up the lymph system a bit. So this is a big one. And guys, I promise you. So when I was struggling with acne, I was having 4 eggs a day. Egg bowls were a part of my personality. I was like, what do you mean I have to give up eggs? Like, how will I survive? What will I eat for breakfast in the morning? I was losing it. And so I am an egg lover. I just made, I call it everything but the eggs. So I love chicken sausage. I love greens. I love ground beef. So I almost do everything I would make in an egg bowl or like an omelet, but without the eggs and swapping the protein. So love a good ground beef in the morning, love a good chicken sausage in the morning. So just swapping out that protein because I'm seeing comments about the macros on there. So maybe it's a lean meat that you're having in the morning or prepping, something to think about. Um, okay, the next one is supplements. Okay, so there we need to be taking, I don't even want to say this, we don't necessarily need to be taking supplements, but we have a lot of deficiencies that can happen, and supplements can be really supportive. Where we want to be careful of is not overdoing it. So, my best piece of advice is take a look at all the things you're consuming in a day, in whether it's capsule form, gummy form, powder form, lay it all out on a table, see where you're overdoing it in these categories. So, vitamin D in excess, B12 in excess, and zinc in excess are going to raise androgen levels, basically testosterone. So you're causing mini testosterone spikes, which means you're going to see breakouts kind of along where you'd have a goatee, along where you'd have like a beard, under your neck, under your chin. So think jawline and around the mouth is going to be the breakouts from those 3 areas because that's really the androgen testosterone hormone area. And you might be taking, like, let's say you have an immune supplement. Most immune supplements are vitamin D and zinc, but also your greens powder has added it. Also, your protein powder has added it. Maybe you're also taking a colostrum that says plus immunity on it, which means they potentially added zinc and B12. And then you're having a drink later in the day, and then you're taking an immunity shot. So these things are really combining over and over again. So it's not that these nutrients and supplements are inherently bad for you. It's just we're having it in excess amounts in a lot of different forms across a lot of different powders, supplements, capsules, gummies, etc. And when I mean in excess, all of them are a little bit different. And again, with my acne checklist, it has the exact percentages for you. This does not replace a doctor's recommendation. This is just very generically, if you are just taking these supplements essentially for fun, right? Like you didn't get blood work done, a doctor didn't recommend it to you, you're just taking them because you want to be taking them, to stay under a certain amount of percentages. So usually between like 100 and 300% of recommended daily value, you're going to want to stay under that. Where we see a lot of issues, we see like a vitamin D at 40,000% of your recommended daily value, 10,000%. So we're seeing it in the extremes. So that was vitamin D, zinc, and B12 for those ones. And then the last one is biotin. Biotin doesn't necessarily affect you at a hormonal level, but biotin is going to increase skin protein production, which means it's going to increase the rate at which your skin cells are growing, which means it's going to clog your pores faster. So it's actually, we created a biotin-free hair, skin, and nail supplement. So if you're like, oh, I take a hair, skin, and nail supplement, but it has a ridiculous amount of biotin, it's a big cause of breakout. So we're here to give you this audit checklist. That way, you're not going to the dermatologist, getting prescribed a spironolactone to suppress your testosterone, when in reality, you might be surface level spiking your testosterone from overdoing it on the supplements. So that's what we're really trying to support you with, that information. So you have that to move forward with. The last one, and this kind of falls under the food category, kind of falls under supplement. Stevia is also a really, really big one, in excess. One product a day with stevia, not so bad. But in high amounts, it is increasing progesterone levels, which is then throwing off all additional hormones. And so think about it, if we're having it in our electrolyte powder and drinking, maybe we're dumping electrolytes in every single time we're filling up our water. So call that 3 or 4 electrolyte packets a day. Greens powder, protein powder, colostrum powder. Maybe it's in your gummy. Maybe it's in your like on the go protein bar that you're taking. So this is where the excess starts to build up. And I say these things because I want to help everyone's mindset just be aware of how all these things add up and just be able to take an overall audit of what's going on. The last ones, infection, inflammation, hormones, which we went over, dehydration, drainage, digestion deficiencies, stress, and blood sugar. We ran blood work in people struggling with acne for years and saw a lot of similar patterns coming up. So things to just be overall aware of is hydration levels, supporting your digestion, supporting any deficiencies you have. And again, you'd find that out through blood work. But the most important one I like to raise awareness to is the stress and blood sugar. So a few tips for keeping stress down that people may not even think of, that's actually really helpful for those struggling with acne, is chewing your food, putting your fork down, and not eating with technology right in front of you. When we have technology right in front of us, whether it's scrolling through TikTok, screens, not breathing while we're eating, not putting our fork down, it's causing stress in the body while we're eating, which is hindering and blocking digestion. And when we're not digesting things properly, when we're not in a restful state, when we're digesting, we're not getting all of those nutrients, and those are leaking out into our bloodstream and causing additional inflammation in the body. So just things to be aware of there. I will pause for a second as we're on internal. I know that was a lot of information. I think it'll be really helpful when I will drop in that checklist for you guys so you can see all of these things for you. You can kind of just check it off one by one and do your audit. But I wanted to see, Sam, is there anything like in the internal side of things that were just so helpful for you, or anyone that you've coached and worked with? Like, what have you seen?
Yeah, no, I mean, you hit every point. There was a couple too that you mentioned that I was like, yep. I think it's one of those things. I'm looking at the chat and it's like people are asking like, how would I know if it's this food or that? I swear by the elimination diet. You kind of touched on that, but you know, slowly eliminating different foods until you're pretty like bare to the bones, right? Like no extra supplements, no protein powders, not doing a ton of dairy. Like you're thinking like whole foods, right? Like
Yep.
lean meats, potatoes, etc. No eggs, all of that. Like, I mean, if you're truly struggling, this is what I would do. I know this is a lifestyle change, but this is what I would recommend if you guys were like my clients. And then I would slowly add in things. And you could start. I saw somebody on here that was mentioning eggs, but try the eggs, add that back in, and it's like, okay, eggs you can tolerate, great. Then, a couple weeks later, I would add in, or a week later, I would add in the dairy. Oh no, acne comes back. That's probably dairy. So this actually happened to me pretty recently. You guys know, like I'm on this gut health journey. I actually have like 2 more weeks of this gut protocol I'm on. So the countdown is on, but I am pretty bare to the bones. Like I cut out everything. Caffeine is a big one too. Like that could be contributing to acne as well. I cut out everything. Skin honestly has never been better because there's nothing really going in there that could cause inflammation. But I did increase my dairy because I wasn't getting any protein powder. So for me, I'm like, gotta hit my protein. So I was eating, you guys, like it's kind of insane. Like I loved it. I love Greek yogurt. Like I was eating like 2 cups of yogurt a day. Like it was obscene. Ian was like, "Are we okay?" And I'm like, "I just can't get enough." I mean, there was like tubs and tubs and tubs. And right around, because I told y'all like hormonal, like relating up to my period is when I spray like get my breakouts. I'm not even joking. Like last month I had like 7 or 8 zits all over. I've never had that much in my entire life. It was the dairy. Cut it back out, immediately went away. My period came this month, no acne. So it's one of those things that it's just trial and elimination. But I really like what you said about stevia too, Kayleigh. I see with a lot of clients too that stevia can cause gut issues, as far as like bloating and inflammation too. And we know like with acne and stuff like that, that's just inflammation at the end of the day. And so it can show up in different ways. So I would check your packets of like, depending on the certain brands you use of electrolytes, protein powders, your greens, your collagen, and check the stevia on that. Like if you know it's not eggs, if you know it's not dairy, that could be a big one that might can trigger. So I think all of the points you went over were great, and I think everybody should kind of look into it.
Something else I saw popping off in the chat is like being aware of like disordered eating. And I think that's a really important component. I typically bring this up on every master class is when we are talking about elimination diets, by no means are we trying to create fear of foods. And someone offered a really amazing suggestion. It's kind of like it's just eating paleo. So it's whole foods, it's real food. So it's just taking out some of those more processed foods and then the top ones, the dairy and eggs, right? And if you want to do gluten. So it's really just those three, and then it's focused on whole real foods. Have as much as you want of those whole real foods, go after it. But by no means do we want to create fear of food, and then give yourself that 3 months. Give yourself that 3 months of commitment of I'm going to focus on whole real foods. I'm going to remove dairy, eggs, and gluten, and we're going to see how it goes. And then slowly introduce things back in, see how you feel. Okay, so for external, the root cause of acne, easy peasy. It's two things. So pore clogging ingredients. You'll want to check your pore clogging ingredient. You'll want to check your skincare, makeup, and hair care for pore cloggers. We've made it very easy for you. We made a tool on our website. If someone on the ClearStem team would be so helpful and post that link in the chat for everyone. Easy. What you want to do is you want to lay out your skincare, makeup, and hair care. Two things. You can either go to the website of each of those products, copy and paste, or we just added a brand new function that if it has the full ingredient deck on the back, now not all of them might, because sometimes the full ingredient deck is on the box and you may have thrown that away. But you can actually scan on your phone the full ingredient deck and have it check for pore cloggers. But again, always the most up to date is if you go to the website. You might have gotten it out of Sephora and Ulta. You can go Target. You can go directly to the website, copy and paste it, plug into the checker. It'll show up any ingredients in red if it has a pore clogger. That way, you know that one may be contributing to your acne. Position does matter, which means if it's one pore clogger at the very, very bottom of an ingredient deck, it may not be a huge issue for you. Skincare is prioritized in concentration. So ingredients at the top are going to be the most concentrated part of the formula, make up the bulk of it, all the way down to the bottom is going to be a very small percentage. And so it is up to you if, up to your own discernment. It's like, oh, if I see something that has 4 pore cloggers in it, might get rid of that one. If I see one where there's one ingredient at the very, very bottom, you might keep that. Totally up to you. I am a firm believer in eliminating all variables. So I'm the kind of person where I'm like, you know what? I want it free of all pore cloggers. I don't even want a chance of this breaking me out, but it's just something to keep in mind as you're evaluating your own products. Hair care is a big one. The most important ones that we don't really see shampoo being the biggest issue. It's really hair conditioner and leave-in products. Hair conditioner can be a big one for back acne. It's running down your back while you're either sweating or while you're in the shower, and and conditioner is meant to coat the hair, which means it's going to coat your skin. So that can be a big one for back acne. The last one is improper exfoliation. Under or over exfoliating. I typically see over exfoliating as a bit more of an issue, but everyone is different. Some people don't exfoliate at all, which means we're not doing anything to help our bodies shed that excess dead skin. That excess dead skin gets mixed with oil, bacteria. If you're using products with pore cloggers in it, it's mixing with that. It's clogging your pores, it's causing breakouts. That's under exfoliation. Over exfoliation, what I mean by that is stacking too many, there's two things, stacking too many acids. So let's say you're like using a glycolic wash and a glycolic toner and a salicylic acid, and then you also decide to put a retinol in there. And we're just stacking too many acids in one routine that is causing your skin to be more irritated. And then you might think, oh, I have really sensitive skin. When in reality, it is a root issue of over exfoliating and using too many acids. So those are the two big issues I see. The other one is with climate. So you can be, let's say, for example, you're exfoliating the same way all year round, which probably not going to happen, but let's just use it for an example. You're exfoliating the same exact way all year round. And then maybe you live in Florida. You live in Florida, it's more humid, it's muggier. And then all of a sudden you go to Colorado in the winter, or you go to Michigan or Wisconsin in the winter. My Michigan, Wisconsin, Nebraska girls that are on this call, it is dry. You are getting windburn outside. Your skin cannot handle heavy exfoliation during these times. But you might be able to get away with slightly heavier exfoliation in Florida, where it's muggy and it's humid. So that's something to also keep in mind if you're traveling, if the seasons are changing. My girl in Canada, I saw Canada on there. It is cold and dry up there. So you just need to be more aware of exfoliation. And so if you notice you're feeling red and irritated or kind of like irritation breakouts, that's a really great signal for you to pull back on exfoliation. And maybe it's pulling back for a few days, or maybe it's heavily pulling back for winter. And so that's something, as you become more intuitive with your skin and as you get to know your body, that's something that is going to work just for you. Your friend's advice may not work. Your friend living in another state in a different climate, someone on TikTok you saw that lives in another state and climate, their routine might not work for you. So that's the part where you're going to really turn inward and start to like play with skincare, get familiar, and know when to turn exfoliation up and down. Because I'm telling you, exfoliation is one of the most beautiful things you can ever do for your skin. It makes your skin bright and glowy and smooth and helps with acne. It is an amazing tool. You just need to learn how to dial it up and down. So let's talk skincare essentials. If I were going to have anyone start somewhere, I'd have them start with the overall basics before they're integrating any acids in. So here we have our gentle cleanser, which provides so much hydration in a cleanser. So think non-stripping. It's not going to dry you out. It's not going to leave your skin feeling like tight and stripped after. It's going to feel really nourished and hydrating. This is key, especially in those dry climates. Very, very key to have a hydrating cleanser that is not a heavy acid based. Then I would go with Cell Renew. Cell Renew, it's our first product. It's our golden child. It's one of those like Jill of all trades is the best way I can describe her. She helps support with scar damage. She helps support with overall hydration levels of the skin. It has hyaluronic acid, has allantoin in it. So think calming, nourishing, hydrating, giving your skin some love. Then we have Hydroglow. Hydroglow is one of the first places that a lot of people start, mainly because moisturizers in general, as a category, moisturizers are typically filled with a lot of pore clogging ingredients. If you struggle with acne before, I know a lot of girls on this call have, you may have been afraid of moisturizers in the past. Like, oh no, like I can't use a thick moisturizer that's going to break me out, right? I've heard that so many times. In reality, it's not the moisturizer that's going to break you out, it's the pore clogging ingredients. And so, because all of our products are free of pore cloggers, moisturizer is a typically big pain point for people. So this can be like if you're adding in one product and swapping out your moisturizer, this is where a lot of people start. And last one, excuse me, is SPF. We are coming into spring, the sun is coming back out, and we're going to be in summer. And you don't want to spend all this money on like skincare and like making all these tweaks to your diet, all these different things, and not protect your skin at the end of the day. So putting SPF on, it's a 21% zinc. We love mineral. Mineral is so calming to the skin. It's a bit of an anti-inflammatory. It has a blurring effect to it. So it's going to add this kind of like Paris filter blur to your skin. You can wear it beautifully under makeup. You can wear it completely on its own. It's actually the only thing I have on today. I'm like, I just wear my You Are Sunshine SPF. And so if you're going to start with 4 products and just get on a basic skincare routine that's going to support your skin, nourish your skin, this is it. And then this is good for everyone just to screenshot. So just a really great resource. So feel free to take a screenshot of it. So if you are associating for more active breakouts, so if you are in the trenches right now with acne, you're like, I'm breaking out, what do I use? If you are more focused on an anti-aging routine right here, but you don't want it to break you out, you're like, I need an acne safe anti-aging routine. That's the second one. If you have drier skin, oily skin, dark spots, this is going to be your guide kind of after that essentials kit. If you wanted to add on anything else, this is where you'd go for that. So these are going to be your routines for each of them to add on, but feel free to screenshot. All right, our Ask Sam section. Sam, so I believe these questions came in for you, and so would love to hear your responses on them. So the first one, which I was actually seeing this come through on the chat too. So I'm assuming so many of you ladies on here, because you're part of Sam's community, you're also sweating a good bit. So best ways to prevent breakouts and sweating from breakouts. I'd love to hear, Sam, like what are your favorite tools for this?
No, for sure. Well, I think like number one, the biggest thing is here's the thing, we can't prevent the sweat, right? But we can help prevent the breakouts. And I think for me, one of the biggest things is just trying to wash my face as soon as possible. And I kind of relate it the same way of like, I'm swimming a lot, training for my Ironman. And guess what's in the pool? Chlorine, right? Like, I'm not going to let that chlorine just sit on my hair because we know that's going to damage the hair, like break down the barrier and turn it green. Like, we don't want that. So I'm going to wash out the chlorine. The same thing goes with the sweat because that sweat is going to break down, get into those pores, and could cause some acne and blemishes. And so for me, it's number one, washing, right? I love the Gentle Clean with ClearStem. That's like my go-to cleanser. I like that cleanser too. Side note, this has nothing to do with the question, but I don't know if any other of you girls like struggle with this, but finding a good cleanser that also takes away makeup. Like that's like my biggest thing. Like if it does not take up my makeup, I'm not doing it. And it does both, which is great. It just like lathers so well, just really does a great job getting everything off your skin. So I would say that, like making sure that you're washing as soon as possible. But if you're not, guess what? Like I don't always either. Like sometimes I'm like on the go, gotta go pick up my kids, all the things, or maybe I have to like jump on a call after my workout and I don't have time to wash my skin. They have a great product that I love. It's the skin spray all day. It's like hydration and clearing mist, but it also, and you can tell me too, Kayleigh, what component does it have that helps with like antibacterial or something.
Yes, it has hypochlorous acid in it. So it's gonna be
Yes.
so great. Yeah, to your point, if you can't shower right away after a workout.
So I have one in my gym bag that I'll just and then go. But that would be like my biggest tips for sure.
I have one other one that can be really helpful because I actually just needed to use this. Remember when I shared about how I re-broke myself out on my back from overdoing it with whey protein? I had to go back to the basics of like, oh, I got to get rid of my back acne now. Which a lot of that can flare up when you're working out and sweating a lot. And testosterone is higher. So I took our vitamin scrub and exfoliation gloves because you can actually go a little harder on your back. It's thicker skin. So I did that and exfoliated heavily in those areas. Again, making sure you don't have ultra sensitive skin, know your body, but I knew I could go a little harder on the top of my back because just the skin is thicker there. And then I used our Clarity serum, which is our mandelic acid serum. That one is really supportive for breakouts. And I just like took my hand because it was mainly on like the kind of top of my shoulders, top of my back, so I could reach it. And I just drenched the top half of my back in it. And that and stopping the whey protein, I was able to get the back breakouts down in just a couple days. And again,
That's awesome.
you have to like the dual approach, right? You're doing the topical, but then you also have to stop what the root cause is. So you're not triggering it. So I stopped taking the whey and heavily exfoliate up there. So that was very helpful. Um, okay, next one. What supplements actually help skin health from the inside out? So, Sam, I can answer this too, but I'd love to hear like just what supplements have been really supportive for you.
Yeah, great question. Okay, so I'm definitely like a food first focused person. So like
Love that.
supplements are great, but like we're focusing on food first because there's so many minerals and vitamins that are in our supplements, that we can get straight from food. So I will say first and foremost, like omega-3 fatty acids, I think like are such a great thing to help with skin health and that glow. So think of things like salmon, everybody says I said salmon weird. Do you guys think that? Anytime I do a
Again,
Costco, it's salmon. Do I say
it's
it weird?
cute. I love it.
I don't know. Anytime I do a Costco reel, everybody like that's like the main comments. They're like, "You guys, you say salmon weird." I'm like, I don't know if it's from Tennessee or what. Salmon, sardines. I know that's like not a fan favorite, but that's like all the hype too. I see that all over Instagram and TikTok. Chia seeds, walnuts. But if you don't love those foods, I think being able to supplement with omega-3s is a great option. Um, Vitamin C, I think, is another one too. So think a lot of like, if you love orange juice, like that's something that we do in the summer too, just like fresh squeezed orange juice. And it's like the best thing ever. Antioxidants, right? So we're looking at blueberries, we're thinking leafy greens, colorful veggies. That's a big one as well. And then I would say one of the biggest tools out there that I think is so underrated is water, right? Like we've got to be drinking enough water. I say if we can drink at least 100 ounces of water a day. And first, you guys that don't like water, I'll give you a break with 80 ounces. Okay. But just think that's like two hydro jugs or whatever kind of drink carrier you like. Hydro jug, Stanley, like a lot of those are like 40 ounces, Brewmate, two of those a day. And if you struggle with drinking water, I always tell my clients this, like drink half of that right when you wake up and you're already off to a great start. And then by the first half of the day, try to get through at least one. And then you got the afternoon to drink the other one. But water is huge. I know Kayleigh mentioned electrolytes earlier. I want to touch on that. Because I think electrolytes are a great tool. I think they're overused, especially I'm seeing that on social media as well. And this is something that I've mentioned on Instagram, but a lot if you're taking electrolytes, look at the back of your packet and look at how much sodium is in there. You guys know I like Pro Mix, but it's 1,000 milligrams of sodium. And I can tell you right now, that is way too much sodium for the average consumer. Um, Personally, me, I'm doing Ironman. That's a little bit different with the training because I'm sweating all day, every day. But just regular me, like just with my bodybuilding training split, like some of the programs that I have in my app, like I'm taking 250 milligrams a day. So that's like one fourth a packet. So be mindful of that. Like if you're like, oh my gosh, I'm doing 1,000 milligrams a day, cut it down. That's truly all that we really need for this, the average sweat we get daily, 250 to 300 max milligrams of sodium.
I think that's some of the
We,
best piece of advice, Sam. Like I'm
yeah,
just like, and guys, don't get me wrong. I like when Sam and I podcasted, this was one of the first things I asked her, and she was like, cut electrolytes and cut sodium. So like I was
yeah,
this person. So I'm not speaking from some pedestal saying this, but like let's normalize drinking water without always needing a powder or always needing an
yeah.
electrolyte. Because at this point, I do see it's becoming more of a like, oh, let's flavor our water. And so I see people having like 3, 4 electrolytes a day. That is thousands of milligrams of sodium. And let's normalize like something like with this mason jar, I put like 1 pinch of sea salt in here. And like I call it, that's my electrolytes. You know what I mean? One
That's
time, it's
it.
water and a pinch of salt. That's all you need,
I
guys.
don't even I don't even tell my clients to go get electrolyte packets. I'm like, hey, get some, Redmond sea salt is like my
Yep.
favorite sea salt to
It's the best.
use. And I just say take a pinch with your finger, pop that in, do a fourth to a half a lemon squeeze, to give you some flavor.
Yep.
Um, and that's great for like pH balance in the gut for gut health, but that's all you need, truly. So check your electrolyte packets, scale back if needed. But that would be probably one of my biggest things. Outside of the food, though, like I said, omega-3 fatty acids, vitamin C, I think is a great supplements for us to add in. Zinc, I think is great as well. And the last thing I want to touch on is probiotics because you all know I'm big on gut health. And if your gut is not specifically your gut microbiome is not in a great healthy state, that's going to show up in so many different areas. And a big one is skin. Okay. So dialing in your gut microbiome, making sure that that is in its best state possible is going to help. And that starts with probiotics and prebiotics.
Agree with all of those. The only one I'm going to add to the mix, by the way, very pro food first, and we live in a big supplement culture, and we don't need all the supplements that exist, right? There's so many things. I like went over to a friend's house the other week, and she's making her morning like little mocktail, and there was like 7 different things she was putting in it. And it's just, it can be really overwhelming for our digestive system, right? And just start to confuse all areas. So the only other one I'm going to add, and many of you are familiar with it because I saw it going off in the chat. So the way we formulate our supplements are based on key deficiencies for the acne consumer. So someone who is struggling with acne, key deficiencies that we've seen in blood work in about 80% of people. So our Mind Body Skin supplement, key deficiencies that we see there. Vitamin A is a big key deficiency in people who systemically more struggle with acne. Vitamin A is responsible for what's called our skin's desquamation process, which is a fancy way of saying the rate at which our skin exfoliates. And so people who are more acne prone and potentially deficient in vitamin A, skin doesn't exfoliate as naturally and as fast as someone who doesn't break out. So, taking our bioavailable vitamin A that's in our Mind Body Skin supplements will just help bring that up a little bit so your skin sheds at a more natural rate. We also include DIM, which is very supportive for any estrogen dominance and just overall estrogen metabolization, hormone support. B5 pantothenic acid, which is very supportive for testosterone spikes and overall like androgen and testosterone support and the metabolization of that hormone. And then a lot of liver support in there. Big reason for acne is just a sluggish liver and overburdened liver, again, from foods, environment, etc. And so our liver is in charge of filtering out and processing our hormones. So when our liver is not functioning and it's not being supported with things like milk thistle and dandelion, it's not filtering out those hormones correctly. So a sluggish liver can cause different hormonal imbalances. So that's what's made up in our Mind Body Skin supplement. And then I saw a great comment in the chat come through earlier. We have a Mind Body Skin 2, which is formulated without 5-HTP because our original version has 5-HTP for serotonin support, because acne can many times really wreak havoc on our mental health. And so serotonin support, but also Mind Body Skin 2 does not have 5-HTP because most people, if they're on an SSRI, depression, or anxiety medication, cannot also be taking 5-HTP. It can be a bit contraindicative per doctor. So they'll typically say, like, just don't take anything with 5-HTP. So we made our Mind Body Skin 2 without it. So if anyone is on an SSRI, depression or anxiety medication, Mind Body Skin 2 is the one that is more supportive for you. And so we made that for our community. It was asked, so we formulated and made it. And then we have some other great supplements that just really revolve around digestive support. So we have our ACV Clear, that's to help with stomach acid and digestion that starts in the mouth through our saliva. We have Glow Time, which is bowel and digestive enzyme support. So digestive enzymes can help break down your food better and absorb more nutrients. And then we have an amazing sleep supplement that has our star ingredient, inositol. I don't know if anyone's familiar, but inositol is a great blood sugar support. And so inositol is in blood sugar and acne are directly correlated. So it can be really helpful balancing your blood sugar at night while you're sleeping so you don't wake up. And so it's a little bit of just an overview, and you guys can like play around and look. We on that screenshot that was sent above, it has some of the suggested supplements on there that can just be supportive alongside of number one, always prioritizing real food first. Okay, I feel like we have some great questions coming in. So I want to make sure we start like we get to you guys on here. So I'm gonna have Sam walk through her favorite skincare routine here. I'm gonna go in and answer some in the chat, and then we'll verbally go through answers after too.
Perfect. Okay. So guys, ClearStem asked me like, what are your favorite products that you use daily? And these are my go-tos. And if you'll see me do my Instagram stories or like say in the lives or whatever, like you'll probably see me doing these. I know I gave it hype earlier, but the Gentle Clean cleanser is so good. And if you have not tried it, this is your sign too. I mean, the way it lathers and just takes off your makeup is great. And y'all know I love makeup. So like we've got to make sure we're getting it off. Another thing too, like one skincare product that I will always swear by is like either a toner or some kind of like pad or something that can just like, get off the skin, get off whatever junk is on there, and help tone and brighten. And I love the brighten me up. Like I think this is honestly my favorite product of the entire line. Like I find myself using this like day and night, which I'm not even sure, Kayleigh, if you're supposed to use it day and night, but like I love it that much. I do.
Whatever
I
your skin
really
tolerates.
yeah, yeah. Well, it tolerates it great because I will say, like, this product, I have noticed such an even tone in my skin texture since using this. And I absolutely love it. I go through this like crazy. So that is like one of my favorites. The Hydra Glow, like I said earlier on the call, if you guys jumped on later, is one of the first of two products that I ever tried from ClearStem. And I was blown away. I like this product because you can use it for both AM and PM. Like I feel like I've always had products that like it's like a lighter moisturizer for the AM and then at night it's like a thicker cream, right? Like I like the fact that you can use this for both. And it really does hydrate, but isn't too thick. And for me, in the past, like I'm personally like more of a hydrating feel. Um, but I like the fact that you get that hydration, but it's not too thick. So you can wear it under makeup, you can wear it at nighttime, whenever you want. Like I mentioned earlier, for my gym girlies that are getting their lifts in, that are sweating, that skin spray all day, this is great to have in your purse. This is great to have in your bag, in the car after a workout, or just like if it's a hot day in the summer, just spray that over. You can even do it on your back too, shoulders, wherever you kind of experience maybe some acne that you want to prevent. And then y'all know I love my eye patches. Like I love the eye candy. Let me tell you why. Okay. I tried, no joke, probably like over 100 different types of eye patches, and they all either dry out too quickly and fall. Like that's the worst when you're like, I just want to wear my eye patch in peace and not have it down to my chin. And the eye candy stays put and it's super cute and it has really great ingredients. It's not for pore clogging, obviously, and I feel like it does a really great job just like depuffing the eye. So it's a good one. That's my lineup. I swear by these, you guys.
Brighten
Yeah,
me up during my
somebody
life.
says you always rave about the patches. I do. Okay?
They're so
I
fun.
love it that much.
Amazing. Okay, we're gonna answer some more questions for you guys because I see some in the chat. But in the meantime, Wanda, I know some of you guys were asking for the screenshot of products from before too. So just wanted to have these up. And of course, you can use Sam's code for 25% off. We wanted to bump it up for everyone on the call today. So we rarely do 25%. That's like what we do for kind of like Black Friday stuff. So it's our most aggressive, highest discount, but we wanted to treat everyone on here. So you're basically getting a Black Friday discount on this call right now. So get stocked up on whatever you want to try or your essentials. Okay, a few questions I saw coming in that I wanted to make sure get answered. The first one was I have very red hyperpigmentation left over from active acne breakouts over the years. I'm using ClearStem products, including the toner, Cell Renew, Clarity. How long does it take to fade these marks? And can you recommend a chemical peel that may help from a dermatologist? Okay, two things. I'd say you're using all the right products. The only one I would include in that, if you don't already, you might have it, is the vitamin scrub, because you have the acid exfoliation, you have the toner and the clarity, which are great, very supportive for breaking up that red hyperpigmentation. You also want to include that physical exfoliation, so vitamin scrub. But if you are in making sure you're using that a few nights a week. For chemical peel, yes, I do recommend, but from an extremely, extremely, extremely trusted source. So like huge caveat to this one. Um, when you are looking for someone doing a chemical peel, the first place I'd look, you can go to Face Reality's website under their like esthetician locator because they're acne specialists. So you want to go to an acne specialist. Um, you want to make sure you read all their Yelp reviews, Google reviews, etc. Like really do your due diligence because here's where it can go right and here's where it can go wrong. Um, Chemical peels can be phenomenal when done in very low amounts, like a level one, where you like maybe have a tiny bit of peeling, but nothing too aggressive. And it's done maybe lower levels a few times to help get rid of all of it. Where it can go wrong is someone who is not as trained, not as educated, because every state has different training protocols. They do way too aggressive on a peel, and your skin tone may not be the best fit for it. So people with lighter skin tones that do not tan very easily can get away with chemical peels. If you tan very easily, your skin may not tolerate it. So these are just some things to consider and to really spend the time speaking with the trained professional, reading through their views, because again, they can be very, very helpful when done correctly. Not everyone does them correctly. So I hope that was a helpful answer for you. But Danielle does them in her clinic at San Diego Acne Clinic. She does it to help for people that are struggling with hyperpigmentation, like really left over from active acne breakouts. So she's incredible at it. If you can ever make it to San Diego and book with her, she has an incredible technique as well that just leaves you with less downtime and a lot more supportive for your skin. So that is my advice on chemical peels. Okay, another one. Okay, loved this one. Would love advice on recurring pimples in the same area. I'm mostly clear now, but I have one stubborn spot that keeps coming back. So two things. One, it can be in an area that you're putting on a very specific product. So for example, if it's like exactly where you put blush or exactly where you put bronzer, or exactly where you're putting a concealer that might have pore cloggers, it can keep coming back. But the most common reason is you might just have an overactive gland right there. Like we sometimes just have certain pores on our face that clog up a bit faster than others. So my suggestion in this one area of your skin, exfoliate a tiny bit more. So for example, the two exfoliations I'm referring to, vitamin scrub, which is a physical exfoliant, clarity, which is a chemical exfoliant, chemical in a good way. It's the mandelic acid one. And you might want to physically exfoliate that area. So just put a little bit of vitamin scrub on your finger, kind of scrub it just a little bit lightly. You don't want to put a lot of pressure on it. Let the bamboo mesh beads do it itself. Lightly scrub in that area just for a few seconds and then put a little bit of clarity on. So those two products are great all over your skin, but if you want to do it like a little bit more just in that area, that can be really supportive for just some overactive pores that you have going on. We all have one. We all have that like pesky little area that just it's the first place to show up. Perfect. Oh, good, Sam. I saw you answer the question. The ladies want a grocery shopping list.
I got you guys. I was actually gonna post like a full grocery guide list soon, so that will be coming. But it's pretty basic. I mean, I feel like I say it a lot. Like we're thinking Whole Foods. Here's a tip I'll give you. Shop the perimeter of the grocery store, right? And be mindful of the dairy section if you do have acne. But single ingredient foods, like those are going to be your best friends, especially if you're dealing with any kind of gut health or skin issues. Or
Agreed.
somebody said, or eat close to the earth. Yes. Love that.
Yes.
That's great.
Let's see. Okay. I also love to use myself as a science experiment. And what y'all said in a previous masterclass about benzoyl peroxide, how harsh it can be, is so true. Every time I defaulted back to it, it wrecked my barrier. Oh, thank you, Jack. Thank you so much for sharing. Yeah, we fully believe mandelic acid is way more supportive for breakouts, but also if you are in need of a spot treatment, we have a sulfur spot in mask, which is sulfur, a tiny bit of glycolic, and zinc. And we find that's way more supportive than like a salicylic or a like focused benzoyl peroxide, because it doesn't, have such a harsh reaction to your skin. So especially the zinc, it makes it very calming. All right. Shay, shall we do the giveaway if you want to lead
Yes.
everyone entering for the giveaway?
Yeah. Okay, guys, if everybody can just send their Instagram handle in the chat, you can send it more than once. I know it's going to be a lot of chats at once. I'm really just going to pick someone randomly, who is still here and engaged. Um, and I'll announce a winner. And then whoever I choose, if you could please just reach out to our ClearStem Instagram, with your name, your email, and your shipping address, and I will get this sent out as soon as possible. Okay. This is so exciting. Oh my gosh. Okay.
And while we wait for everyone else to get theirs in, thank you guys so much for showing up. I love everyone's questions. We love everyone that shares their story too. I think that's so helpful. It's so helpful for others to hear your story. They're so helpful. Like you really are a guiding light. It's like when you're struggling with acne, I remember like being in the trenches with it. It's such a great reminder to know there's light on the other end of the tunnel because it can just like it can feel really heavy, it can feel really dark, it can feel really frustrating. So it's so helpful to know there are solutions and taking both an internal and external approach to it. It really becomes a journey. I mean, Sam, like you learn so much about your body during the journey of acne. I mean, it's like it's a
You
struggle, but it's
really
also
do.
these gifts.
And I think too, it's like it makes you be even more aware and in tune to like what you're putting in your body that could affect other symptoms you deal with, like whether it's bloating or fatigue or whatever it might be. It's yeah, it's pretty amazing.
Yeah, when you ladies cut down those electrolytes, just watch your bloating go down. That's like the best. Like not only your acne, but let me tell you that bloating goes down.
I mean, it's wild. I had a client a couple months ago, and she was doing like a couple packets of electrolytes, and I said, "We're cutting them out," and bloating went away very quickly. So,
That's what I'm a huge fan of. I'm like, I love cutting things out, especially when it's like when
yeah,
I'm talking like random powders, like just all these like random things we're consuming throughout the day. It's the easiest thing, right? Like eliminating things doesn't cost you any money. Like it makes your life easier. You don't have to
it
buy
really
all the
doesn't.
electrolytes again.
And it might seem a little bit more boring, right? Like not as fun, but it kind of gets your mind to think like, okay, like we're gonna have to work at this and figure out like those whole single ingredient, whole food sourced items that I can get to make me feel my best. So not as fun, but you'll be amazed how your body feels. I will say that.
Exactly. Guys, we can drink just water. I know we can do it. I know you guys can do it. We can
I
drink
do
water.
it
Down.
very often.
Same.
Okay,
I got my
guys.
water right here.
I picked our winner, Crystal Strayer. It's at Crystal SMUA. You are our giveaway winner. Congratulations.
Go,
So excited
Crystal.
for you. You're gonna win all of Sam's favorites. And I know you're gonna love them. I love all them. So just message our ClearStem Instagram and send your full name, your email, and your best shipping address, and I'll get that sent out to you. Congratulations.
Congratulations,
Congrats.
Crystal. And thank you everyone so much for joining us. Don't forget to screenshot this, save the code. I think it's valid through Friday. Okay, perfect. So you guys have like 2 days to use it. Valid through Friday. Sam Christine 25. Sam, thank you so much. This
Oh
was
my gosh, of course. Hey, I have a little surprise too. because I'm like, you know what? I have a grocery site. I'm gonna send you guys a grocery guide right now in the chat. It's a PDF. So click on it, save it. It has like all
Queen.
of my favorites. So that's for you queens. Love you all.
Thank you. I'm like, hey, I needed this too. I need Sam's grocery list.
Well, it has a lot of my favorites in there. If anybody struggles in the grocery store, it's some of my favorites. And I saw somebody say like the Whole Foods can be like boring, but I have some really great like dressings and marinades that are clean in there, like good brands that you can always put on top of that are good ingredients. So, got my girls.
Thank you guys so much, Sam. You're the best. Appreciate you
Thank
all.
you for having me.
Have a
Bye,
wonderful
guys.
evening. Bye, guys.